Canucks win. They dominate. The third period, Thatcher Demko with a gigantic debut in the playoffs. How solid did this guy look? He looked completely unflappable. He was tracking the puck everywhere. There were going to be no greasy goals getting by him. He was rock solid. I mean, how good is it for the Canucks to see what Markstrom has done this whole playoffs? And for Demko to come in extraordinary circumstances. The guy hasn't played a game since right before the regular season shut down. That's a long time. They weren't giving him any playoff starts. I'm sure he's been doing his best at staying in game shape in practice, and he definitely proved that he knows how to do that, because this guy came in big game. Thatcher Demko makes the offseason a little more interesting. I think based on everything Markstrom had done in these playoffs, people thought, oh, for sure, Benning has to throw the money at him. They have to lock him down, and if you have to trade Demko for something or risk losing him in the expansion draft to Seattle, well, so be it. We have Markstrom. But now that Demko's come in, I'm assuming he's going to play the second game. If Markstrom, him actually being up in the press box, means the injury is somewhat serious. So I'm assuming we'll see Demko in the next game and perhaps beyond that. But man, did that feel good to see him play so well. Congratulations, Thatcher Demko. Whatever happens, that's another small victory. And that's the great thing about being in the playoffs, is that a lot of this is these little victories that have the team growing. You know, it's Pettersson and Hughes learning what it takes to get it done in the playoffs, and people like Besser and Horvat to go in with a strong, successful team. That stuff's important. Stetcher. Half the Canucks are young, and half of them are very old, and they've been here before. But for Demko as well, to get this kind of experience, and for the franchise to know that, at least in one game, the guy can more than get it done, and can be somebody that could be a very valuable piece for them or another team moving forward. Vegas definitely had the upper hand in the first two periods. They just controlled a lot of the ice. The Canucks were really struggling, as usual in this series, to keep a lot of momentum up. I saw with Travis Green's lines, he again had Beagle in between Mott and Jake Virtanen. And there were, especially in that first period, the Beagle, Mott, Virtanen line was actually getting most of the offensive time for the Canucks. But, if you just would have had Gaudette there, how nice could that have been? Like, just keep Beagle, Roussel, and Sutter together. Hard-hitting, tough, defensive shutdown line. And leave it at that. I'm loving what Gaudette is bringing and what Mott is bringing, and Jake, but I'd like to see them together being able to perhaps get something done. Or, cycle around in the top. Green started shuffling around his lines quite a bit more. He noticed that Brock Besser was really going. This was definitely his best game of the series, if not the entire playoffs. Besser was finding some space. He was getting some shots off. He was gaining the zone with authority. He was making plays. He was forechecking. He was converting on all that hustle and making things happen. On the big goal to put the Canucks up 2-1 in the game winner, Besser did everything. He gained the zone. He was forechecking. He was moving it around. He cuts it right into the middle of the ice, the dangerous part, and finds a way to get a shot off and through tons of traffic. And Pettersson with an incredible seeing eye deflection for that 2-1 game winner. And the Canucks didn't let up. To their credit, they had a lead in that third, and they played like they wanted another goal. And they didn't just sit back and trap and allow Vegas to come at them in those scary Vegas waves. They pushed it, and Vegas just could not match up to the momentum that the Canucks had, and Vegas just looked like they figured, we'll do this another day. Yet another huge leadership moment for Miller. There are actually two I wanted to key on in this game. To start the game, I think it was the very first Canucks shot attempt. Miller gained the zone, racing down the left wing. He could have made a pass, and he decided, no, I'm going to rip a slap shot. He had that Miller laser-like purpose, that leadership and dedication when he wants to do something. He wanted to get his team on the board with authority, and that slapper, man, just pinged right off the post. And that's the tone. It shows that the Canucks were going to get in there. They were going to try to score, and they were going to get a puck past the goalie, if not for the post. And later on in the game, this is late in the third, Vegas had a big chance. Miller not only just blocked a shot, but there was a big scrum in front of the net. Ryan Reeves pushed Stetcher from behind, and Miller got right in his face, cross-checked him right to his face, and Reeves sort of laughed at him and was, doing his tough guy act. And Miller just planted his feet, stared him right in the eyes, didn't move, and showed Reeves that he doesn't care. If you want to fight, do whatever you're going to do. And nothing happened, and he ended up skating off to do the change. But I just love Miller. Man, what an amazing trade Benning did. And now that they've made the playoffs and that it's going to be a late round first pick, to have a guy like this that is just totally revamping the lineup and the attitude and the makeup of this team. And with everything he can do on the ice, utility-wise, and all the intangibles he brings, and just you can't have enough leadership, and that's one of the guys on a team that can win a Stanley Cup. Vegas did look dominant for 2 periods. We'll see if Demko can keep it up in the next game. We'll see if the Canucks can keep up what they're doing in the 3rd period in the next game. I'm sure that Vegas is going to take this as a bit of a punch in the nose, and they're going to realize that, yeah, we do have 2 chances to finish these guys off, but you don't want to lose 2 games in a row, have the series tied up, and then be a team that drops a 3-1 series lead 2 years in a row. See you next game, everybody.